Greetings everyone and welcome to Outlaws of Thunder Junction draft. There's an Archangel of Tithes. That's pretty good. It is triple caster though. I'm still taking it. I don't even have a playset, so it kinda works to, finish the mythics of the set. But this is the main set mythic. I have, I think, enough of them already that if I open all my packs, I would most likely complete them. I still need some big score cards to go for the set completion. Another perfectly acceptable first pick would be a clear shot, and if you want to force green, which is the best color in the set, you could take this and it would be a fine pick, definitely. I don't think anything else comes close. If you somehow don't want to take the triple white card, you should take the clear shot and that's it. But I choose to take the angel. It's pretty darn good. I just have to make sure I have enough white sources in the deck so that I can cast it, assuming, that I will end up playing white, which of course can still change after only one pick in the draft. Well, I'm not taking a white card. I think the Sheriff of Safe Passage is just not a very good card. It's not that easy to build a board full of creatures. But what is the pick? This isn't very good either. I mean, it's a decent card if you are blue red, but it's no reason to take this and hope to be blue red. A 3/3 prowess for 3 is okay, but the ability rarely does anything. There's a Cacti, there's a Consuming Ashes, there's a Treasure, Tyrant's Scorn, some red stuff. I don't know. I actually think I'll just take the removal. It's kind of annoying that it's double black and I took a triple white there too. But I feel like the removal will be good. No, as long as I end up, playing black, that's gonna be a good card to be running. I know I could have taken one of the green cards, probably the Cactarantula that early in the draft because it's really good. But I like to have options, ways to deal with opposing bombs. That's why I think spot removal is very important in this set, even the kind of stuff that costs 4 mana. Right, so I don't think there's a black or white card in this pack. I know I could take the Oasis Gardener, which would help with the mana. But I could also take the Hard Bristle Bandit here at knife point hounding. I'm taking the green card now. Maybe green actually is open and then I can just be happy about the mana producer, which also taps for any color, which means that the Archangel is castable with it. And I'm getting a Cactarantula now. I'm not taking any other option. This is a really strong card. There's no way I'm taking anything else after I took the green 2-drop here. And the Creosote Heath is very easy pick here now. It might seem like that white is more open than black. Definitely it is. And of course the Shepherd of the Clouds is a really nice card. But in here with the triple white, I'm gonna take the black and white, green and white producing land. I'm sad about passing this. Not so much sad about passing the Take Up the Shield, which is still a fine card, but I think this is the most important thing. Also, Cactarantula wants you to have the sets. Okay. Giant Beaver, Steer Clear, Big Horn. I think I'll select the Giant Beaver here more than the Steer Clear. Green and white is the kind of a mount deck, but I don't think this is such a high priority right now. I just talked about having a spot removal, but this is not the kind of removal spell that you can target anything with this. It requires a specific circumstance. I'll take this Beaver because it's really good on turn 3, for example, from the Hard Bristle Bandit. And here I get a gift, Trained Arynx. I would actually take the flats just to make the Cactarantula a 5 mana card more often, even though I don't necessarily need the black for anything. But of course the Arynx is just a high quality 2-drop I'm happy to take, and I will cut the Consuming Ashes now, and I'll take another Beaver. I guess that starts to be enough good expensive cards. Now I need to have some cheaper cards, and a little bit more mana fixing for the Archangel. Okay, and now I'm taking the Gardener. I don't need another 4 mana card. I already have 3 4 mana cards in here. The Griffin isn't high priority. This is good as a 3-drop that can fix my difficult mana costs. Serif of Safe Passage. It's still not a card I'm that fond of. I think I actually prefer the Supplier even over that thing. Pixie can return nothing that is so great yet, but I think I can find maybe something. And Griffin seems unnecessary. I have the 4 drops. I'd rather play over it anyway. Okay, I like the Requisition Rate. Could be main deckable, but at least from the sideboard it's very useful. Okay, I guess I'll take the uncommon over a common one. I'm not gonna play either of those. Okay, this is a fine pack. It's of course not great by any means, but I have here cards I can pick. And I will take the Bandit because I actually don't have that many 2s, and I still want to fix my mana. And just in general, when you have a couple of Giant Beavers and the Archangel, which are 4 drops that you can play on turn 3 if you have the Bandit to help casting them, it's pretty nice. But if the Bandit wasn't here, I think I would just take the Pylons or the Backwoods. Nice to have a desert for the Cactarantula. Pylons would even kind of help with the mana cost. Alright, let's take this. Kellan the Kid. I have a playset of them. Oh, there's a throw from the saddle. Yeah, that's an easy pick. I wouldn't mind having a Holy Cow, but this is of course very, very good removal spell, so let's take that. Also, I have a few mounts that can take the permanent counter from this as well. Alright. Not bad options at all. And the 3 cards I think are the most worthy of consideration here. I mean, there are of course like 6 cards I could take from here. The Sentinel, the Lullaby, and the Commando are playable cards. But I'm thinking between the Mirage Mesa, just to fix the mana more and have another desert for the Cactarantula. Drover Grizzly, I could use a 3-drop. Mount even to benefit perhaps from this counter. And of course Unlicensed Hearse can be a really nice sideboard card and a main deck card too, but especially against those graveyard shenanigans. But I think I'm actually choosing the Mirage Mesa here now, because I want to make sure that the Cactarantula is a 5-drop, if possible, and also the triple white. I want to deal with it. And here I'm taking the Dance of the Tumbleweeds, mostly because there's nothing else for me, and this is a card I'm happy to have. At 6 mana, you can get the land and get the token. Sometimes at 5 mana, you might just get the token without getting the land. It will be a little bit smaller, of course, but that's still an option. And then on turn 3, I can just get me like the 3rd plains for the Tithes thing. And it also gets a desert for the Cactarantula. So it's a totally fine card. Yeah, I'm taking the Felidar over the Griffin here. I have a couple of these mana producers. Actually, I have 1, 2, 3, and the card I just took. So I can easily go to 6 mana, and this is a pretty powerful card when you can cast this like on turn 5, for instance. Right. I don't have a shortage of options here. I could just take the Festering Gulch, but there's another bandit I could still take, or the Townsfolk. Should I just take the... Well, I'm not taking the Townsfolk, it's between the land, which mostly would be for Cactarantula, or just take the bandit. I guess I'm gonna try to make the turn 3 for 4-drop possibility happen. I mean, because with 3 of these bandits, it's totally possible to happen, and I'm taking a Cactarantula easily over the Rustler Rampage, which I haven't probably seen at all in this set, not by me or from the opponents, because I don't think it's really that great at all. But yeah, Cactarantula on the other hand is a fantastic card. Bighorn, Bridal Bighorn. I guess I could have it now. Because of the triple bandit, another 4-drop wouldn't be that bad. Yeah, I mean the option is to take 20 gems, which I'm not choosing to take here. Free Strider Commando, High Noon, of course. I won't be having the red. I guess I could have with this Bandits the Gardener. This could be, producing red, but it's still not a very good card. And I might want to double spell myself, so I'm taking the Commando. It's kind of a split 3-drop, 4-drop. Arid Archway. I don't actually like it because I have the triple white card, but I can still pick it, and maybe if I get enough fixing, I still could consider playing it. It helps with these 6 drops because it's 2 lands in one, for instance. Okay, so I'm definitely having enough playables. I don't need that much from pack 3 to to make it a finished deck. Look at this pack. How many cards there are that I just want to take. Now, obviously, I'll take the Rattleworm. There's no question about that. But the Arynx is really good, and Prairie Dog is also good. And these are 2-drops, and I would really want to have a 2-drop at this point. Still, there are like another Beaver. There's this Lonely Arroyo and the Dance of the Tumbleweeds. Also cards I couldn't, see playing. But here I'll take the Rattleworm because that's just the best option for me. Okay, there's a Prosperity Tycoon. There's another Felidar, which I'm not taking here. I have this expensive stuff here. I think the supplier might just be actually cut among the first cuts once I get enough cards to consider cutting. And normally I would take the Tycoon because I really like the card. It is good, but I need a 2-drop, and the Tapper is totally fine thing to have on turn 2. I don't really need those expensive cards like 4-drops that much, so I'm taking this for mana curve reasons. Okay, well, there's Dust Animus. Crackle with Power. I have actually a playset of them, so I don't even have to consider picking it for completing collection. This is just a sick card, obviously, so let's take it and move on. That's also something I can do on turn 2, whether it is plotting or just casting it. Cactarantula number 3, but there's also a Bruised Tarl, and I have some fixing. I could actually take the Bruised Tarl here, and it is a really good card, but I think it's still not necessary. I have a decent 4-drops here, and I really like the Cactarantulas. I have if I play the Arid Archway, which I might actually do at this point, I have many ways to make this a 5-drop instead of a 6-drop. Yeah, I'm taking all the Cactarantulas. There is another shot at picking an unlicensed hearse. There's also the Betrayal at the Vault, which isn't the worst. There is also Steer Clear, which for now I have 5 mounts. I'm not sure if I'm going to play all of them, like the Felidar. The Bighorn might not be played. I think now there's also the Ranch, which I guess you could play, but I'm taking the hearse because this is gonna mess up the black-green stuff that have a lot of graveyard shenanigans. Why is the Collector's Cage in here? I actually don't even have a playset of these, so I would be picking this anyway, but this is just a great white card. It's pick 6 in pack 3. Why wouldn't a white drafter take this, which is probably the best card? This is a really good ability, and the Hideaway can just give you a free spell. I'm so amazed I get this on at such a late spot. Okay, the Griff is the pick over the 4-drop in here. What nice cards I'm getting past here at such a late stage in the game. I have 1 requisition raid here. I don't need this for collecting completing purposes. I could take it for 40 gems. Yeah, I don't actually care about having another copy of that. I'll just take 40 gems here now. And, in theory, it's also a sideboard card against a very, very slow deck. You can try to mill them out. I'm taking the Beaver here. I don't need the Hound. Okay, I still get the option between all these. I think the Bighorn number 2 is not as necessary as maybe the Felidar number 2 I could see playing. Probably not in the main deck, but I could sideboard into 2 of these in some kind of matchup. Okay, Snakeskin Whale over the Sentinel. I like the Sentinel, definitely, but the Snakeskin Whale is also real sweet, so let's have 1 of them, and this starts to be... Okay, and I got a Steer Clear, which I can still consider playing. Pack 3 was very generous to me. Okay, this is 29 non-lands. I think I'm going to cut the supplier, one of the Felidars, and the Bighorn. This leaves me with 6 mounts still, so there's gonna be some kind of a chance for the Steer Clear to deal 4, and dealing 2, can be okay as well. I will play all these 4 drops. I'm gonna play the one Bounding Felidar and all the Cactarantulas. I'm gonna play the Commando, maybe not so much. Because it's not so great to have just a 3 mana 3/3, and I have other things to do on turn 4 and turn 5 and so on, so the plotting part might not be that interesting. I'm going to cut the Commando, and this is 25 cards. I think the Nurturing Pixie, I could reset the Hideaway from this thing, but I don't think there's that much anything else. Yeah, the Pixie doesn't seem like a necessary thing at all. So the turn 2 actions, I have a triple bandit, Arinx Keeper, Animus. Yeah, that's like and if I play the main deck Hearse, it's also okay. I'm thinking about not playing the Requisition Raid because I don't have a go white deck here, so the +1/+1 counters won't matter, and then I don't know if the naturalized path or a disenchant part of the effect is going to matter either. So I'm gonna cut that, and I think this is the deck. I will play the main deck Hearse. I will play the Steer Clear, of course, which is fine, if not exciting. And of course the deck has a lack of removal. I didn't get the white enchantments that exile their stuff, so I can lose the bumps. I have basically like a throw from the saddle, and then I just hope that my big creatures, which I have, a lot of, I can try to win with them, and I have this, which I consider a bump too, getting a +1/+1 counter, and notice this doesn't say activate only as a sorcery, so you can use this as a threat of activation too. If the +1/+1 counter would make opponent's blocks bad, they can't of course make those blocks because I can then proceed and use it. And this is a fairly easy way to get a free spell, and I have expensive stuff I'm very happy to cast for free. I just need to have 3 creatures, and then thanks to this +1/+1 counter adding ability, it's fairly easy to make sure you have the different powers when this ability resolves. So this is it. The sideboard options are, I don't think the Pixie will ever be sideboarded in, but or maybe it will, because if the opponent has like multiple of those blue flash auras that lock down my guy and make it lose abilities, I could save one of my guys using the Nurturing Pixie. And there's the Requisition Raid, which is an option. If I want to play a flyer instead of like a giant beaver, I could making that change. If I really need to just have a 3-drop, I could see sideboarding this in just to have an extra card to play on turn 3. And in a very grindy matchup where the 4/7 matters, the counter adding matters, I can also see sideboarding this guy in. But this is the main deck, and I do think with triple Cactarantular I'm supposed to play all the deserts, even though this taps for colorless, which is bad for the triple white card, but I have triple Bandit and the Gardener, and also the Dance of the Tumbleweeds, which all can help me cast the triple white card. So I think I can afford the one Arid Archway. And it will help sometimes just to cast my expensive stuff, or I can have a starting hand that has Heath and an Arid Archway, and that's actually 3 lands already with 3 mana with 2 lands. Alright, I have only 8 white cards in the end, but the quality is quite good. Cage, Dust Animus, and the Archangel of Tides. So 3 out of the 8 white cards are fantastic. Then there's stuff like the Griff, and then good 2-drop. Yeah, I have here kind of a not very good balance in terms of colors, but because of the triple white card, I still need to have a fairly healthy number of planes in here. Let's try with this first and see how many forests. This would be like a 10 ways to get the green mana, and this is like 8 ways to get the white mana. But then again, I have these additional ways to get the white mana. And I have so many more green cards that I cannot justify putting 7/7 basics. It has to be so that 6 planes will be enough for the Angel of Tides, and this won't always be a 4 mana play, because I might not have enough white sources for that, but it's still an okay card to play turn 5, turn 6, and so on. So this will be the main deck. Yeah, on the play, I don't have a desert for this thing yet, but if I could draw a land by turn 3, untapped one, a turn 3 giant beaver would happen. But if I don't, it's still fine. I can play another Bristle Bandit on the next turn. And by the way, even if I get a desert, the pinging desert, with this ability, it would allow me to add mana twice with the bandit. Even though the land enters tapped, I would still be able to play a 4-drop. But let's see, they might have a removal for the bandit too. They surveil a forest away, so they have another forest in their hand, or some kind of way to make green mana. I guess the pylons work for that too. Yeah, I definitely want to draw a land. But it's not so bad if this thing survives. Okay, they might get some extras there. Well, I got the easy way around. So now if they are gonna crew this, they can't really attack into my 4/4. And this thing has vigilance, which is fantastic. So I can attack and threaten blocks. That's actually 2 targets for my requisition raid already. Okay, I don't have a desert, so the Cactarantula won't happen on this turn, but it will happen on the next turn, and I can just do this, and there's no really reason to leave this guy untapped, so let's go like this. I don't care about getting dealt 3 damage, but it would be unfortunate if they, hit a land and get a free card and mana ramp. It's a, around 40% chance to happen in most decks that have around 17 lands. Okay, now they can crew with that thing, it's only crew 2. Please don't find a land. Okay, they did not, so I could double block, but I'm never gonna do that, so... Well, I got the lands. Now what I do need is some juicy spells, but I have, a lot of possibilities for that. So, do I want to deal with the Vigilante here? Because I can do that. This will untap once I target them. I have such a low amount of removal though that I don't think I'm gonna be too scared about this, double striker here. So I'm gonna go with this plan and just attack for a 3 in here. Let's see if my Cactarantula, well, at least most of the ways that deal with it make me draw a card. So there's that. Okay, they have a pump spell. I'm not going to. Okay, they got the free land. I'm gonna take the damage there. I'm not gonna offer any kind of trade here. I guess it wouldn't have been the worst thing. I mean, they would have probably lost this thing. I can't figure out what kind of combination would help them. Okay, I actually have the triple white here. So let's see. This thing says, as long as this is untapped, creatures can't attack you or a planeswalkers you control unless their controller pays 1 mana for those. And as long as this thing is attacking, they can't block. Alright, well, am I going to offer the trade with the... No, of course this is gonna be a great tapper, so let's go for the Cactarantula here. Attack there. They go to 10 and I can play my Archangel and I have my Tapper up. It's pretty funny that I can cast this with only one land that produces white. I'm still going to save this for something truly horrible they might have, because I can now still use the Keykeeper on any non-mount creature, which currently means every creature. This can tap a vehicle, even though it can't tap a mount. I have to be a little bit careful about them having the pump effect and the crime for a huge double strike stuff, but so far they can't really attack because this guy taxes their attacks a lot. And I have the tapping here too, so if they like crew the mobile homestead. I mean, I guess they can attack. They did attack into the Cactarantula on the previous turn. So the thing is, if I now use the Sterling Keykeeper to tap like the Mind Raider, they can use it to crew the mobile homestead. I don't really want them to get the shot at another land. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let them attack for 5 now. And any attacker they have will, tax them. So now I can tap a non-mount creature and I will choose the guy that can get double strike. This is not relevant, so that didn't matter. So if I choose to attack with the Archangel, their blocks are going to cost mana. Yes, almost said money. There's no money in this game. And if I leave this guy untapped, then their attacks will be taxed. They have 3 mana. There could be a way to... They could be like a getaway claimer or something like that. I'm thinking about using the throw from the saddle here. I'm scared about getaway claimer. That's what I'm scared about. Because I don't think anything else really deals with the Archangel. It has 5 toughness. I don't think I would... Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go for this. Let's see how it is going to be, and I'm gonna make it like this. Could be just a snakeskin whale or something like that. Okay, take up shield. Now they have only 1. Okay, so I'm going to make an attack so that this is indestructible. I don't see a reason to do anything too crazy. I'm gonna attack for 4 in the air. They have a treasure. Hopefully they don't get somehow a surprise. They can get 1 desert per turn from this ability. Yeah. Now this thing is not untapped, so their attacks won't be taxed. But they can't be too reckless with their attacks either, because Cactarantula alone is lethal attacker right now. Okay, so they are gonna go for an attack. I'm going to just tap this guy to prevent them from getting any free land drops there. So now they are having that kind of stuff. I mean, my next turn is pretty much of a victory. I mean, they could have a trash the town, which gives this guy 2 counters, trample, and of course double strike if they also... Well... Okay, I'm gonna jump this and see what happens. I don't think there's any reason to be scared about the 3 power trampler here. But now they have to somehow... Okay. They have to, you know, not lose. Let's see what they find. I could draw a spell here. I know I kept the 2 lander and I wanted to draw all these lands, but I have also drawn mostly lands, and now I have enough of them anyway, so let's draw a spell for a change. Okay, that's been skewered. Did they accidentally get the 3 mana version of that? Because they could have spectacled for 1. Why would they show me the skewer if they just wanted to, you know, say that they had an answer? Or they had extra damage? It doesn't matter now. Anyway, I'm gonna play a requisition raid because I had saw 2 things I want to get rid of. The tether and the homestead. And of course they can have more. Magda is dangerous. They're playing 3 colors. I don't know what the forest is doing, but they are playing basic forest, so they are not doing that just for fun. But they definitely have early drops for white and red. Okay, do I care about the commando? Do I care about some of this stuff? I think the easy cut here is the unlicensed hearse, because I like the other cards simply quite a bit more. This is fine. I'm not playing on the draw 2 of these Felidars, no. Okay, this is a it's an okay hand, but I have nothing until turn 4 if they don't have like the vehicle on turn 2, but I don't think I can really mull this hand. But I could be eaten by a turn, you know, 2-drop, 3-drop start here. They don't play that guy, right? Haha, there is actually something I can do now. On turn 2. Best of 3 allows sideboarding to matter. I always like that. So now, do they have a 3-drop? I assume they have, because otherwise this wouldn't have even been that impressive of a 2-drop if they have nothing to crew with. Okay, they did not, which is fine. Here I am having enough lands to actually not just fetch, because as you can see, I can play a tapped land this turn. Well, there is a reason to maybe consider having mana for the Snakeskin Whale, but I'm still not gonna go for that. This is gonna be something I can play at 6 mana. I mean, I just draw 1 land and I can do this. And I can even just play it at 5, of course. But here I'm going to choose. I have enough white. This is gonna be green. And I can play a Beaver, Cactarantula, and, you know, something. Either this or whatever I drew. There's a Griff. Alright, alright. Oh, they did miss a 4th land drop. Yeah, so I have pretty big creatures coming up. Okay, they didn't. Okay, and this is gonna... Yeah, they are just having like a Naya mounts or something like that. Hey, that's a wrong, bad timing. I want to have this untapped, so I will not be saddling the Cactarantula. So I'm going to just... I mean, I guess I could make this into a... 7/6. Is that gonna matter? Now, the most damage I might be taking here is if they play a creature that can saddle this thing. This as if it's a mount, this is gonna be 8 damage to me. How much is it gonna matter that this is a 7/6? It is a good question, but I do think I'm not gonna go for the saddling. The good thing about this thing is that the land it fetches is gonna be untapped, so I can actually get an untapped forest. I don't have to get a desert here, and then I can have the snakeskin whale up for this thing here. This thing has also, you know, has also the vigilance, so I don't know what's gonna. I'm gonna let them have whatever they have there. There's not much benefit from the. Okay, I at least get a card here. I was worried about them having some kind of pump effect, but you know, there's not much benefit from the Cactarantula if they just if the Cactarantula won't be doing any blocks. Oh, Collector's Cage will be pretty huge too, but I think... Well, I have now multiple options here, of course. I can get my 7/7. And then they will have a free attack with this guy, but... I could also play the Cactarantula with the Snakeskin Whale mana up. Okay, maybe that is better. So I forced them to have something else. They can now, of course, saddle up the Guild Charger too. Okay, that is... Okay, they have exactly 1 card left. And that's not a mount. So actually this is gonna be great for my Snakeskin Whale now. I can... Although the Griff will have... Yeah, it's maybe not the greatest thing ever. Well, we'll see. Oh, it is. I was mistaken. Of course, this has only base 1 power, so yeah. So this is probably pretty close to me winning. Although this guy is annoying. It can be... Well, it's not over yet, but let's at least get rid of the lifelinker so I can consider racing here. The Collector's Cage will be fantastic. I could attack for 11, but it's not necessarily what I am supposed to do here. It is a 2-turn clock though. They have to start blocking. But with the Collector's Cage, I feel like I should be a little bit more careful. I will want to see what's gonna happen here. Okay, my own Griff, there's a Archangel. Griff is good, for sure, gaining me life, but I think I'll like the Archangel. It's a free cast anyway with the Collector's Cage. And I will wait with the Dance of the Tumbleweeds, of course. Yeah, that is going to work just fine. Let's attack now. I'm not gonna saddle anything up and I will leave that thing untapped. Do I want it to be a surprise that I'm gonna have the angel, or do I want to deal an extra point of damage here? Good questions. So I could do this at the beginning of their combat. I guess if they draw an instant speed kill spell, it will just fail. So let's actually make it like this. Now I'm guaranteed to make this work. And now I can use the archway, getting a surveil here. Bye bye. And I have no tricks, but I have 4 blockers. And they have unblockable 2 damage from the Roadrunner. And of course the Collector's Cage can still continue giving me +1/+1 counters, but they have a 4-turn clock. Now my clock should be faster than theirs, because I can start attacking with more than just like one guy pretty soon, and they are forced to do some blocks. Oh, getaway Glamour. Oh, I'm gonna... Okay, that Keykeeper can tap the Roadrunner, but that was a draw which makes me happy about using the Collector's Cage on my turn. Now they might get a free dragon soon. Their attacks are tagged, so they can't actually attack with the Roadrunner right now. So I'm of course going to just block that, and the question is... Well, there's no question. I have to lose the beaver here. So that's fine, I guess. Got another beaver. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. I can get an untapped land here. I can actually get... Yeah, I can get mana from this guy. And I am going to do that. Because this will, of course, commit a crime right now. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 here still. So yes, I can be going for both of these modes. Should be leaving me with green-white. Don't have any survey land, so does it matter? Doesn't really matter what I'm gonna get here. Let's get a plains. And I can either play the beaver or I can play the keeper, which I think it's more important, and that still of course leaves me with the option to use the cage at any point I want to. Now I think my 8/8 will do a very good job in beating them, but do I still even need the 3/5? Yeah, I guess I'm gonna not attack for 3 or 4 here. I will want this to be untapped, so that if they wanna use this, it's actually gonna cost 4 mana total. I do hope they don't have a crime immediately here, because that would make the Magda do some work. I don't have any hasters, so can't do no blocks. And then I can start tapping the Roadrunner if I want to. Let's pick a counter on... I think I can pick a counter on the bandit here. Now it's actually, you know, able to block something. Oh, Dust Animus. By the way, you don't have to plot this, because it only cares about having 5 or more untapped lands. And I can cast this for 2 and still have the lands, so I can just cast it on my turn. And that is, of course, really incredible. Let's go with this attack now. Yeah, I can do it all. I can play Dust Animus, which will be a lifelinger, hugely relevant. That will be enough untapped lands. And then I can play the giant beaver. And I can still have mana for both tapping and using the collector's cage. So this should be, unless they get a crazy bomb. Even if they commit a crime for the dragon, that's not going to matter. Unless if they kill the Dust Animus. I don't know. They're gonna exile a card. Alright, alright. I think I don't want to give them the card. That means they can attack with the Roadrunner, but I don't think it's that easy for them to deal 4 extra. Oh, by the way, this is this is a mount. I can't tap that, but I will tap this anyway. I was supposed to use this, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't actually matter, yeah. But yeah, they're gonna get their card, which is going to be a Mind Raider. Doesn't matter. So I'm going to block that thing, of course. Do I want to gain life here, or do I want to trade with the bandit? Well, I'm beating them anyway, so I guess I might as well do it like this. Okay, well, I'm gonna put a counter here. Both of us will be gaining life now. They go to 12, I go to 11, and of course I have still, this guy will survive because it will have 6 toughness after the cage doing its thing. So that's totally fine. And I have, of course, a massive attack here. I can tap their only blocker and beat them easily. On the play with the bandit. Okay, well, it's an easy keep. I might still be in trouble if I, lose, miss out on many land drops here, but I have a lot of cards I can already be casting. And that's not a missed land drop. So now the question is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play the bandit here. There's no rush with the Arings. This might die to some kind of removal effect. That was the reason I was considering, playing the Arings first and then have this with Snakeskin Whale back up, because I'm gonna have an early Cactarantula, especially because I am getting here my land drops just naturally. So no point doing anything else than this right now. This with the whale backup. Next turn Cactarantula will happen. Most likely. They could have make my guys have -1/-1 until end of turn, but even then I can choose to save the bandit. And I will have the Cactarantula even in that case happening. That's a good one. They don't have any deserts yet because this is their rare land, so it's just a 1-2 for now. I will be playing the Cactarantula, of course, so that I won't have the Snakeskin Whale backup, but it's gonna be worth it. Hey, I can then play another one of those. So let's do this, and let's get the Scry here. I think I will keep a land if I see one. Well, I'm definitely keeping that, because this thing requires 5 lands to do anything. Doesn't matter how many bandits I have, I need to have 5 lands on the battlefield to get the good mode out of that card. Yeah, turn 4 Cactarantula on the play can be quite annoying to deal with, because even if they have a removal spell, it's gonna probably cost a lot of their mana and I will get a card for my troubles. A 6 power is so much, they can't just take that very many times, and they are already at 15 here. Omen Path Journey. Okay, they have to have 5 different named lands, which I suppose they are gonna have. I'm gonna see them, of course. And then they have some slow ramping, but they need to deal with my stuff here. So let's see, the set of lands is... Okay, come on, done. They still have these kind of lands. So I'm just gonna play the other character until I attack for 9 or make them jump block. Because I can of course saddle it up. This thing. Unlicensed herds. Given the you know, their color combination, I'm gonna guess they have some kind of graveyard shenanigans here. But there's nothing in the graveyards yet, but it doesn't take much time before a graveyard start filling. So I do think I'm actually taking the hearse because I don't want them to get like back for more and all the kind of annoying stuff that black green is so easily able to get. They're gonna go to 6 now, and that gives me already a bunch of lethal attackers, so they have to have a pretty strong turn now. Well, there's... Not that this matters, I mean, the stuff that can't block is not what I care about, but I'm still happy to, you know, eat it with the hearse. But how with 6 mana can they deal with this stuff? That's a good card, but it's only 1 extra counter right now. Right over there, I'm gonna draw my card, thank you very much, and they will be now tapped out. This will enter tapped, whichever it is randomly some of these, and it will enter tapped. And I have of course the throw from the saddle here to deal with the tumblewhack before it becomes a problem. Although actually I won't be dealing with the tumblewhack here, of course, because I'm going to force them to jump block with the tumblewhack. Well, it doesn't matter who I kill here, to be honest. Unless I have a lethal here, which I think I might have. If I'm willing to show the snakeskin whale here. Yes. Well, I'm gonna win here. Now. With the snakeskin whale. They have to block the Cacti to land. Do this here. For 6 exacties. You never know if they have some annoying stuff that actually helps them stabilize, and the only reason to not do this is to, you know, not show this card, but it's easy to guess the opponent has a snakeskin whale in their green deck. So it seems like it is green, white and black. They didn't get any other basic land outside swamp, forest and plains. Is this enough of a reason to get my requisition rate? I'm not sure. How good is the supplier gonna be? Do I want to have the Felidar? Is something here bad? Hers I'm very interested in because black-green is gonna indicate a high likelihood for cards that bring back things from the graveyard. Yeah, I just... Oh, by the way, I haven't seen this card. I kind of forgot I have it in my deck. Well, I haven't needed it. The Cactarantulas are really good by themselves. Alright, I do think it is not enough of a reason to have the raid here, just to deal with something like an Omen Path Journey. It is very good if the game goes very late, but as you can see now, they had to tap out for 4 mana for it, and that gave me a lot of time to pressure them a lot. So it's by no means a free card. I think I will have the same deck for now. Yeah, this is a hand I have to mulligan. So Even if this was forest, I think I wouldn't gamble. This is fine. Not great, but it is fine. These things actually add 2 of my required 3 white mana. But these might get removed. Then again, the trained rings might also not be... I mean, I will play a bandit on turn 2, gardener on turn 3. When I'm gonna play the rings, it's gonna be so late in the game that it might not matter. I know it can pick up a permanent counter from the throw from the saddle. But I think the Archangel of Tides is still the card I'd rather have. And of course the mana producers and the removal are gonna be necessary. That's gonna get me a white producing land as well. That is gonna say white. Alright, my Archangel shouldn't be a big problem now. And if they have the Tumblewhack, well, they didn't, so all is fine. Okay, let's go with this. They don't have black mana yet. I could actually play a Cacti if I draw one. If these guys survive, because this is a desert. Alright, so they get an Omen Patroni, their first play in the game. Now, I don't pressure them nearly as much as I did in the previous game, so they are in a much better shape. If I just draw an untapped land, I can actually go for these 2. It would be a 5/5 creature in that case, because I could go for the both modes option. Okay, so they're gonna have all the mana they need. I hope the spells in their hand aren't like all 6 drops and that kind of stuff, because they have time to play all the 6 drops in this game. Okay, Plains is fine. Well, they only got 4 different named lands. They drew the rest of them. Alright, so here... is a 5/5 gonna be enough? Well, I don't have any more lands here in my hand, so I might not even draw any more lands. Which means that I'm going to go for a 5/5 in here. And I can get my desert that pings, so I can actually... I could also go for this, by the way. But I don't need it. I mean there's the surveil option, but I actually just am gonna go for the heath in here. Because that in fact allows me to play... That allows me to play the, you know, the Dust Animus on the next turn, using mana from the Bandit and the Gardener. Then I will have 5 untapped lands. So this will be a 4/5 Lifelinker flyer. Well, that is a big thing. It has crew 1, but... interesting. I don't think I care about too much, because now that I have the 5/5 which can attack here, they are in a bit of a trouble here. Now I'm thinking if I should play just the Archangel of Tides on this turn. So that the attacks are even more taxed. Although I don't think it matters. They have a lot of mana now. I think I'm still going to go for it with the Archangel, yes. I mean, can I go for both of these? Actually, yes, I can. How foolish I am. I'm really foolish. I'm sorry about this. 1, 2, yeah, I can do this both. I don't know why I'm doing it pre-combat, but I am. This is 5 untapped lands. Yeah, I can do them both. Yeah, let's do it all right. Like this and like this. Yeah, man, I almost wasted this double spell turn because this indeed costs only 2 mana. I just somehow thought that he's gonna cost like 5 or so, but no. Of course I was able to do the double spell. And they just concede, because I suppose what I have here is something they can't deal with. I mean, it is 7 power in the air if they have no removal on either of these. That's already gonna be bad. But I mean, they played their first thing on turn 4, Omen Path Journey, doesn't affect the board. Then they played the Locomotive, doesn't affect the board by itself. And I already had all these here. Of course, I had a very good draw here now, but yeah, it's really gonna, hurt you if you can't play stuff at least from turn 3 onwards that do affect the board somehow. Okay, I'm keeping this for sure. That makes the Cactarantula into a turn 5 play, but I don't really want to do the Archway on turn 2 because, well, that would prevent me from playing the Griff, but I would also have to discard to hand size. But now that is also good, so my idea is to play this on the next turn. Turn 4, if this survives, I can consider using throw from the saddle on it. Then I can play the Archway maybe, and I can play these on turns 5 and 6. But of course, things can change based on what gets drawn. Okay, they just have basics just like that. Alright. The bandit would allow me to play a Cactarantula on the next turn if the bandit survives. But I have a feeling they might have removal like the red 2-drop. And then it would be a slightly annoying thing if that is the case. Yeah, that's why I'm going to actually just do it like this. Play the Grief. This is harder to remove. Okay, they didn't seem to have anything though. Anyway, this is I'm happy with this. On the next turn I can go bandit saddle if that's somehow gonna matter. Okay, buried in the garden. That's a reason to maybe use my requisition raid. Well, I'm going to just play the beaver now. That means I don't necessarily get to play a Cactarantula on turn 4. I never really had an option to, with this line of plays I took. I couldn't play this before turn 5. But let's see if they have more removal. They don't have a removal, or do they? They're gonna saddle that thing up to mill 2 creatures. Oh, that was lucky. That was lucky. Oh man. They needed only 1 creature to make the Savage Smash, have this guy survive, but that was annoying. You know what's annoying? I can't benefit from this flash. If I want to play the Archway, and I kinda do. It's probably fine. I can just actually play the Hard Bristle Bandit and kill the Stubborn Burrow Fiend here, because it's gonna be quite large. They have only 1 white mana, that's not gonna allow... That shouldn't allow them to save it. Alright, I am going to go for this play instead. And I will get the Surveil. I will have mana for any one of these on the next turn regardless, unless they somehow kill the Archway. I'm gonna have the Collector's Cage. Now I'm gonna take at least 2 here. And they might actually start doing the thing with this thing. Yeah, they have no better use for their mana. It's gonna be a 4/4 now. But also I can do like this. Cactarantula, Bounding Felidar. I don't think it's gonna be a steer clear. No, because I don't have any mount, it would be only dealing 2. This is good, but Cactarantula is Cactarantula, so I'm gonna take that. And now I can go for this, which allows me to untap the bandit, and of course I have the surprise Rattleworm here, which I rather have over the Cactarantula. That also allows me to use the cage for what it's worth. I guess adding a counter on the bandit is fine. Instant speed answer, is that what they're gonna have? Okay. Very good news for me. Add a counter on here. Alright, I think this is pretty much now. Easy peasy now, because I can just attack for 8 here, and I can use the cage to as long as I target one of the 6 power creatures, so I will have 3 different colored things. Okay, they're gonna do that, so in the meanwhile I'm gonna do this. Cast this, and that's a lot of big guys, and I still have one here. This is not lethal attack yet. So I don't think I need to. Yeah, okay. I was actually thinking here to not play the 3rd Cactarantula, because white has in this set a rat effect, instant speed even. So I think I would have just not played this thing here. Yeah, but now that they conceded, that pretty much tells me they don't have the rat in their deck. Alright. They have a buried in the garden somewhere here. But was there anything else that is gonna be useful against which I can use this? Not really. I don't think that one buried in the garden is enough to make that like interesting. I think this is just a fine deck in this main deck configuration. I mean, I guess the unlicensed hearse might be. No, they are playing Naya colors. Actually, it is good against a stubborn Burrow Fiend, in fact. But they do have a Voracious Varmint. Okay, that is kinda annoying. It can deal with the hearse. Alright, let's actually do it. Hearse, and I will play the Requisitionary Raid. At least, you know, maybe adding counters to my guys might matter. Oh, then maybe they get buried in the garden and I get to remove it. Yep. Alright, this is a very nice hand here. Well, even more good cards. I still can't believe it, I got this so late. It was like pack 3, pick 6, wasn't it? Well, with triple bandits I have definitely had a fairly large number of turn 2 bandits during this event. Okay, they have a... Okay, well they have a kill on that thing thanks to the treasure from the gold pan. That's actually not gonna matter because I drew another mana accelerating thing here. So I still don't have a desert, so this is not gonna be played on the next turn. But I can of course just play the Collector's Cage, I can plot the Animus. Oh, they have another one of... Oh, that's a good set of draws for them. Definitely. Well, I'm getting the Animus on the next turn. That is at least something. Here I will take the Colossal Rattleworm. Throw from the saddle one of my few removal spells wouldn't be that bad, but it's gonna take some time before I get this stuff anyway. When you get to cast these spree spells for free, you still have to pay for the additional mode, so this is not so great with the cage. I'm taking the Rattleworm. I'm gonna plot this. I have the untapped land for the next turn, so it will be a 4/5 lifelinker. I hope they are starting to run out of stuff to do. That does tap for color only if it's gonna be a mount that they're gonna cast. Alright, that gives me a Cacti for the next turn. Sadly, I have nothing else than just using the cage right now. I might even actually do it right away, just in case they have something that deals 5. Now I have the 5/6 here anyway. Okay, they have no nothing. These things have all reach, so I don't think I'm gonna go for any attacks right now. Now if I get one creature, I can do the collector's cage thing, assuming these guys survive, and that's what happened. So I mean, they are playing 3 colors, so I understand them being unable to do anything relevant. I am going to just attack here. I don't mind if they don't got double block. Let's go for this. Although maybe I'm... Nah, let's go for it. And now my board is pretty impressive. I can even just make my guys get +1/+1 counters each, and okay, there's the white mana. But I can kill the gold pan. They might have, of course, buried in the garden, so I could wait with the requisitioner raid if I want to. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. I will wait, just in case they have a buried in the garden. Then I can kill this thing as well. Yeah, let's saddle up like this, and I don't mind how they're gonna make blocks. Here they of course have to make some blocks now. So let's see what they're gonna do. This is how you get punished when you play 3 colors and don't get all the 3. So that's I could actually use the steer clear here to save my thing. Is it worth it? If they have a snakeskin whale, that's actually gonna be rather annoying. Actually not. I can still make this 8 power with this, so yeah. Let's steer clear now and deal with this guy. Because this is a mount. Alright. Should be... I could deal an additional point, but don't even know it's that. Maybe it doesn't matter, I'm gonna wait. Yeah, now of course one buried in the garden isn't going to help them. Even if I didn't have the raid here. There we have it. Too little, too late. Yep. But if it wasn't too little, too late, I would have gone for the triple effect here. Kill the equipment, the buried in the garden, get this thing back, which, you know, for which I would have 5 lands untapped, because I can use the bandit. Although if I go for all the modes, this is actually gonna cost 4. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. I was gonna win this easily, even if they had a little bit more board presence there. Okay, that's actually a second trophy in a row, because even though these videos are published 1 week apart, I did record these back to back, so the one from the previous week. Well, I guess I spoiled it for you if you haven't seen it, but I can't take it back. I'm not gonna cut that part of the video. The deck was pretty good, and Cacti, I just think these are one of the better commons we have seen. I mean, when we are talking about these kind of 5 or 6 drop commons, this is absolutely one of the best versions of those things. And well, I had my bombs doing something, the Rattleworm got to see some action in the end. Archangel of Tides was nice, and of course the Collector's Cage is just ridiculously good. I can't still believe it was passed for so many times. I mean, was there no white drafter in there? Maybe there was, but there was an even more ridiculous card there. Animus, Dust Animus is really good. Yeah, the deck was worthy of a trophy run, but of course it could have been a little bit more unlucky hands or something, and then you can go 2-1 or 1-2 with decks like these, but I didn't get unlucky at all. I was actually having a very good set of starting hands, and as a result, pretty easy victories. Also because opponents struggled a bit, but that's, opponents did play some multicolor decks, and that's sometimes a little bit inconsistent to play with those. Right, I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.